Here is the situation. Last summer, I bought my grandparents' house. This house was the hangout spot for my friends and I throughout our childhood. This includes my friend Lucas. The house has a sizable amount of land, which includes a lake and a gazebo. I was supposed to buy the house with my now ex-girlfriend Chloe. But going through the process of getting approved to buy, I found out that she has massive amounts of credit card and personal debt that she hid from me throughout our 4 years together. I decided to break up as a result. That was about 6 months ago. I met Chloe because Lucas's long-term girlfriend Stella is Chloe's cousin. Lucas and Stella are engaged and set to get married in April. When I was buying the house, they asked if they could have the ceremony at the gazebo, which I agreed to do. In December, I started dating again. Chloe has not taken this well at all. She thinks we are going to get back together and has tried multiple times to make that happen. I have told her in no uncertain terms that isn't happening. Lucas and Stella have asked me to not bring a +1 to the wedding for Chloe's sake. I have told them that this request is ridiculous. This wedding is happening at my house, using my land, and I am not allowed to bring a date because of a crazy ex? If that is the case, then they need to find a new venue for the wedding. They are pissed about this given the short time frame of when the wedding is supposed to happen. So we are at an impasse. Am I the a-hole? I have seen a few things brought up a number of times in the comments, so I will quickly address them here. I am fully aware of the liability issues, which is why I purchased, and they reimbursed me for a special event insurance policy which will provide 100% coverage for any damages, claims, injuries, etc. to any of the property or persons up to $2 million. It is one of the first things we did after I agreed to have the event in my home. The wedding will have a maximum, if ever comes, of 75 guests, 5 catering staff, and 5 security staff. The security is because this is an open area that anyone walking past can access. The house has hosted events twice this size, and logistically it has been fine. On the property are 2 cottages, one with 1 bathroom and the other with 2 bathrooms. The only portion of my house that will not be locked during the wedding is the finished basement. The basement has 2 bathrooms. Every person who is single, not in an established relationship, received an invitation with a +1, including me and Chloe. This talk came after I sent in my return card and indicated I was bringing a +1. Now they are saying they do not want me to have the +1 because Chloe blew up about it, and they are afraid of a blow-up at the wedding. Chloe indicated she intends to bring someone on her card. I do not know if she will actually bring someone. Some comments. Top commenter, pull an Uno reverse. Tell them Chloe isn't allowed on your property and watch their heads explode. Original poster replied, the petty part of me did absolutely consider saying, well, Chloe cannot come to my house or on my land, so it shouldn't be a problem. Commenter, out of curiosity, are either you and or Chloe in the wedding party? Original poster replied, Chloe is at the wedding party. Lucas is the youngest of 5 boys, so all his groomsmen are his brothers. Original poster replied a commenter, for the last 6 months, my life because of Chloe has been drama. Every person who will be at the wedding is in some way or form connected to the drama. The woman I am dating is not. I want someone who is disconnected from this drama, who I do not feel like I have to walk on eggshells around. My peace also matters. All I am asking is for them to tell Chloe, just act like an adult for 4 hours. But instead, they rather have me be uncomfortable than to have that talk. When I am doing what I can to help them with this wedding. Somebody asked, why security? Original poster replied, security is to keep people out. This is an open area. The wedding is outside. I have acres of land and it is largely unfenced, including this section. Any stranger could easily walk up on the event. Commenter, one thing. You are not entitled to Chloe's financial information as a boyfriend, even a long-term boyfriend. She was not hiding it from you. It was none of your business. It became your business when merging finances became a likelihood. Original poster replied, I am entitled to not being told lies. In conversations about finances, she misrepresented her financial status. She is the one who initiated our conversations about money about 6 months into the relationship, and then hid information for years about her financial situation. She demanded to know about my income, debt, and savings. I provided it because I thought we were planning a future together. I asked for the same information, and she described her credit card debt as very little. Sorry, but $50,000 of credit card debt is not very little. If her view was, you do not have a right to know, then okay. But that was not her view at all. So yeah, she hid it from me. Commenter, how much debt was she in aside from the $50,000 original poster replied? About $30,000 in student loans and owes about $20,000 on a car. We could pay off the credit card debt in probably about 3 years' time. My issue is her lying about it. I lost trust in her. Commenter, 75 guess is 74 plus, so not small. Why they are thinking of having someone at the wedding who they even say is going to go nuts to the homeowners belong me. I'm sorry to say this, but I don't think Lucas has ever been your friend. I think he's always been a friend to the family's money. You do say as a child he used to hang out at your grandparents' house. Original poster replied, this whole thing is making me reassess our relationship. There are people who left our friend group over the years citing Lucas's selfishness as part of the reason. Update 1 week later. So I met with Lucas this morning. We talked for almost 2 hours about everything. I laid it out that I thought he was, at best, a rubbish friend. I went through our long history of various things over the years that has me questioning our friendship. That was the bulk of our conversation. We then turned to the breakup with Chloe and the shit show of the last 6 months. Throughout the last 6 months, despite Chloe's craziness, I have bent over backwards to try and accommodate her feelings. She has shown up to my house in the middle of the night. I did not go for a restraining order. When I go out, I do not go to places I know that she and her family like to go. She has implied to her family and mutual friends at various times that I cheated and or that I took advantage of her financially, neither of which is true at all. I have held my tongue to not embarrass her about these things in front of her friends and family. Lucas knows all that and yet is demanding, once again, that I put Chloe's feelings before my own. I said, you and everyone need to stop coddling her like she is a freaking child. Lucas concedes that Chloe has been crazy and ridiculous since the breakup. But, he says, she feels she did not get closure after the relationship. She wants to have an evening where she can talk to you to get that closure. He also told me that Chloe has been very vigilant about paying off her debt and paid off almost $10,000 of the credit card debt. She wants to talk to me about her progress. To see if that might cause me to change my mind. It will not. I asked him, so do you expect me to go to the wedding and talk to her? Because I have her blocked everywhere and, date or not, I do not plan to say a single mumbling word to her. He said, I fully expect she would lose it if y'all do not talk at the wedding. I told him if that is the case, then, for the good of my property, I can't have Chloe come. If she is so unstable that I need to be coerced into a conversation with her, she is too unsafe to be a guest in any capacity in my home. So I have told him, based on what he has told me, Chloe cannot come to my house or on my land. I am willing to still have the wedding at my place, but I cannot trust Chloe won't do something given what you were telling me. Lucas lost it at this point. He said, F you and your crap. I don't need it. So, I said, then the wedding is off. He left. So that is the state of things. Some comments. Original poster shared some information. My peace of mind matters, and I offered a solution that keeps the peace, while also not exposing me to the chaos that is Chloe. Chloe does not come to the wedding. I would have been willing to let them have it at my place then. I would be willing to not come to the wedding myself to make it fair. Speaking with Chloe is not keeping the peace. It disrupts my peace of mind. Commenter, you handled this awfully. You don't start a heart-to-heart about your ex-girlfriend by laying out every grievance you've ever had in your relationship with Lucas. Where do you expect him to be mentally, emotionally, when you even start the conversation about your ex? No wonder he blew up at the end. He felt attacked. Original poster replied, this was not a heart-to-heart about my ex. This was a heart-to-heart with Lucas about our relationship, his and mine. We have talked about Chloe. I was done with those discussions months ago. I made that clear when setting it up. Because I understand Chloe's position, I understand Stella's position, but I did not understand Lucas's position. He knew all the crap and was still acting that way. Commenter, I think wealth attracts assholes. And I think original poster is probably a bit sheltered cognitively that his wealth has always given him power over people's behavior to a certain extent. And I think a large part of the shock for original poster here is that the friend is walking away from that dynamic. Original poster replied, I have no idea why you think that I grew up wealthy and sheltered. I did not. You notice I did not mention my parents in the post. That is because my parents were too broke to care for me, as determined by the state. My grandparents had enough where I could grow up middle class, meaning no worries about my basic necessities, clothing, food, and shelter. But anything beyond those was on me. College was paid for by scholarships and work-study jobs. Grad school was paid for by my employer. I now make relatively good money. And that money stretches quite far because I live in a fairly low-cost rural community and have no kids. If I lived where my job's office is located, I would be living in a 2-bedroom apartment with a roommate. And Lucas and I's dynamic historically has been me going along with whatever he wants, often to my detriment. I think that is why they came to me rather than even attempt to get Chloe to behave. My shock is that I thought he legitimately cared about my feelings and well-being. This experience makes it clear he does not.
It's been 4 years. I'm 29 and he is 31. He's very caring and tells me that he loves me. I don't actually know if I'm right because it's just my gut instinct, but I feel like a placeholder. I think he's still got feelings for his long-term ex. She is in the same circle of friends from university, and I think he lights up around her. They had a fallout over something, and they broke up 6 months before we met. But I know that he bought a ring for her and was set to marry her before the issues. They are not in constant touch, but she reached out to him a couple of years ago, and foolishly I said it was okay for him to meet her for closure. They don't meet up regularly or anything like that, but well, I think he's different when he's around her, and another mutual friend said the same thing when I confided in her. This ex seems to be overly happy in his presence as well, which is upsetting for me. Or it's possible that I'm unhappy that he hasn't proposed, despite saying he wants a future with me, and I'm reading too much into the situation. Don't know what to do. Relevant comments. Somebody said, does he ever light up for you like he lights up for his ex? Original poster replied, I honestly don't know, because sometimes I think yes, but other times no. I think he says the things he feels he should be saying about building a life together, but doesn't always feel it. I don't want to turn into a girlfriend who snoops around looking at phones, but it's tempting. I also feel uncomfortable with the fact that she's still close to his family. Somebody said, oh, you'd know. He doesn't light up when he sees you, nor does he seem sincere in discussing a life together. It's been 4 years. If he was genuinely excited to be with you, he'd not be seeing his ex or lighting up around her. He'd be taking next steps toward a future with you. He may have some ambivalence, but that's not helpful to you. You could be with someone who has no doubts that you're the one. Another said, to be honest, you're hurting both yourself and him, but especially yourself, by not either A, being more candid with him, or B, leaving because you can't be more candid with him. Even putting the marriage issue aside, how can the relationship work if you can't be straightforward with him about how you feel about the relationship? Original poster replied, he knows I want to be married though. I just haven't discussed timelines with him. But after 4 years and at 31, surely he should be thinking about these things too. Particularly as he himself said that he would like to settle down with me. Somebody said, he's not over her. He was ready to marry her, but wants to take it slowly with you. It seems like he's ready for marriage, but doesn't want to marry you. I'm really sorry. The writing is on the wall. I hate seeing women getting treated like placeholders. I've noticed many men treat life like winter and women like coats. It's cold. Are you really going to go without a coat? Just grab a coat for now. Any coat. You can always get a better coat later. They don't go without a coat waiting for the coat they really want. They absolutely will wear you while saving up for a better coat though. This is unfortunately why many of them don't leave if you're not the right one. It usually falls on women to do the leaving. You have the info you need. It's up to you to make the right choice for yourself. Let that man go. Original poster replied, last night I tried to talk about marriage again, to discuss a timeline, and he said he hasn't thought about it. He needs time to think about it. I told him I am unwilling to wait for more than 6 months, and he didn't say anything other than asking for a few days to think about it. Commenter: well, there's your answer. If I were you, I wouldn't worry about whether this is about his ex or any other girl. The ultimate answer lies with you two. And right now, you're not feeling secure, and he's not able to step up. Men can be clueless. I had to explain to my husband at our 3-year mark how much time it takes to get engaged, pay and plan for a wedding, and then have kids. In his mind, it could all happen a lot faster, and he thought he had more time to propose. But he was serious about marriage and reassured me and proposed within a few months. I was also ready to walk, and he knew I was serious. If your boyfriend's answer after 4 years is "I'll think about it," not "I love you and I'm working on it," go. You deserve a man who you feel safe and loved with. Original poster replied, he told me yesterday evening over dinner that he loves me, but he doesn't know if and when he'll be ready to propose or get engaged. He said that he used to think that it was something he could do long term, but when I gave him a timeline, he realized that he couldn't do it anytime soon. When I asked him if he thinks he'd ever be ready, he said possibly, but he honestly doesn't know. Because I was hurt and deeply upset, I asked him if it was because of his past and his previous relationship. But before I could even complete the sentence, his expression changed, and he told me that's not relevant and not to try and make this about his previous relationship. Commenter: it's hurtful that he did propose to her. Usually, if someone is marriage-minded, they do find someone else quickly. It's probably best to ask him if he sees this moving forward. Probably best to leave her out of it. If he hedges or delays, you have to decide if you want to wait. Original poster replied, he bought her a ring, but they had a fallout over something else and they broke up, so he didn't propose. He said to me he was all set to get married to her. It was why he wanted to take things slowly early in our relationship, and that's when he told me this. Original poster share new update post with the title, dumped after I gave my boyfriend a deadline for engagement. Only a few days after I finally told my boyfriend that I wouldn't wait for more than 6 months, he broke up with me. At first he told me that he needed to think, then said that he couldn't see it happening anytime soon, and today he said that he can't marry me and that he wanted to end the relationship for this reason. I still feel that it's because after all this time, he's still hung up on his ex. He won't talk about it and said it was not the reason, but of course he would say that. I'm still quite sure that she is the reason. He tried to tell me that he still cares about me, etc., but I told him to cut the crap because he wasted 4 years of my life. He told me I can stay in his house for as long as I need until I find a place, but I'll be viewing apartments and leaving ASAP. I feel like such a fool for not putting my foot down sooner and have been in bed all day. How can you do this to someone you claim to love? Relevant comments. Commenter 1. I'm sorry to say, but he doesn't love you. He likely still loves his ex. If he loved you, marriage wouldn't be such a big obstacle to him. You are so much better off now. Original poster replied, I know that's what it is. When I asked him straight if he still loves her, he told me not to bring her into this. And then when I asked again, he said it doesn't matter if he does, because he can't be with me. He didn't even try denying it. Commenter 2. Please don't try to chase the why. Maybe he's still hung up on his ex. Maybe he's just not ready for you. Maybe he'll be married a year from now to someone else. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. Better to accept that as soon as you can and put your energy into moving on to someone who won't drag you around for 4 years. Original poster replied, it just hurts because I waited longer than I would have otherwise because he was in a lot of pain following the breakup with his ex and didn't bring up marriage for a long time because he nearly got engaged to his ex, and it was a sensitive point. Commenter 3. I predict he'll be back with the ex in a month or less, unless she's smart enough to tell him to pound sand. Why did they break up? Original poster replied, I mentioned it in a previous comment, but it was over a family matter relating to a family member of his, where his ex was going against his wishes and interfering. She's since apologized to him about it and said she wished she had stayed out of it. I was dumb enough to tell him that it was okay for him to meet her for closure, and she said this. She didn't have any other relationships after they broke up. I've been in denial, but ever since this happened, his attitude towards her has softened considerably, and they always seem happy around each other. The same circle of friends from university, so they sometimes run into each other. Plus, she is still really close to his family. Not sure why I wasn't seeing what should have been obvious. It was obvious to a mutual friend as well. Somebody said, guys buy rings when they want someone and don't want to risk losing them. He feels very safe to not have to pony up, especially when women see him as the catch, which your 4 years sadly shows he has the upper hand. I'm sorry that this played out this way for you, and how to take the aftermath of licks it has hit you with is a hard one. Look for how you have benefited and find ways to be grateful other than your dissatisfaction currently. Original poster replied, I will, it's hard at the moment. With mutual friends saying they tried to warn me that he was still emotionally connected to his ex, and that they saw this coming. I should have snapped out of my wishful thinking when he said early in the relationship while drunk that he was set to marry her and that it felt wrong to date someone else. He said later that it was just him being drunk, and I believed him, ignoring the red flags. Don't know how I've lived in denial for so long. I'm feeling like a fool.